All right, I think that's very good to go. I'll just kick it off with a quick welcome speech. Hello, everyone. My name is Burak. I'm the Channel Marketing Manager at SOCRadar. And here I would like to welcome you to our new webinar series for MSSPs. We'll be talking about the future of MSSPs, some challenges in the cybersecurity industry, and how actually SOCRadar can help overcome these challenges. Today, I've got very special people from our team. We got John Williamson, our Vice President of Sales in North America, and we got Ahmet from our team, Technical Alliance Manager, who'll be presenting to you our solution, our MSSP program. Also, at the end of the webinar, we'll have a quick Q&A session. You can just type in your questions in the Q&A section, and at the end, we'll have a short session for that. Ahmet, we can skip this page I'll just move on.
Sorry.
Well, we'll start with a quick introduction, then we'll try to understand MSSPs and their challenges, and we'll move into trends and implications. We'll talk about the challenges, how we can solve them. In the meantime, we'll talk about our MSSP program, how we do cross-selling, and we'll explain actually why you should actually become a partner for SOCRadar for MSSP program. And at the end, we'll just have a Q&A session. We can move on. All right, we got John and Ahmet here.
Yes, welcome everybody. It's good to be here. I'll just warn everybody, I'm the sidekick on today's webinar. Ahmet is, as far as introductions, he's our resident expert for our growing program around MSSPs. And I've got the honor of, as he said, I lead the team in North America for a lot of our direct sales, but we're working increasingly in close conjunction with our MSSP partners. And we're going to talk about that today. And I've been in cybersecurity for longer than I'd like to admit. And one of the things we're really excited to talk about here is what we've done specifically and built around the MSSP. We understand it's a ferociously competitive space, and it requires a lot of nonstop technical evolution, development of the managed services, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I hope this is valuable. I hope there's some takeaways here that you guys will appreciate, and certainly we hope it leads to more meaningful and deeper conversations with everybody here.
Exactly. Thank you for introduction, John. Ahmet, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the team over here? Yeah.
So my name is Ahmet. I'm the Technical Alliance Manager who is working for SOCRadar in the Europe and Middle East region. So I am leading the MSSP business and helping the US team also to John about the MSSP projects. So I have the technical background and sales background both. And we will cover the technical and commercial challenges of MSSPs on today's webinar. Thanks.
Thank you, Ahmet. I'll just introduce the company quickly and we'll give the mic back to you guys. So our company, SOCRadar, was founded in 2019, and we experienced the exponential growth over the couple of years. Right now, we have more than 250 partners globally in 100 different countries, and 14,000 different companies are using our services. And we are also recognized by Gartner Peer Insights, ranked among the top 2 providers and vendors list, and we've been recognized multiple times in the reports as well. And yeah, we can move on to the next slide, Ahmet, and you can take it away from the mic. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. So let's start with understanding the managed security options, managed services options. We have a few type of managed security service providers here, as you can see. The online marketplaces, for example, like Paxate, MSSPs, I mean the managed security service distributors, MSPs, who is mainly focused on IT services, but also providing security services like simple solutions, and MSSPs, which is our main focus for today. So let's start with MSSPs and understand their expectations from the market and their targets. So MSSPs, the managed security service providers, are companies that are solely focused on security. They establish their own ecosystem with high technology security products, and often they develop their in-house tools, in-house solutions to deliver security services to their customers. And they typically engage in modular licensing, and implement the land and expand approach, tailoring their services to meet the specific needs of their customers. Instead of managing their technologies through a user interface, they aim to automate processes as much as possible by providing invisible integration through APIs. When it comes to MSSP, things are a little different. MSPs primarily offer IT services, and alongside that, provide simpler security solutions and services like network or endpoint security. Unlike MSSPs, MSPs are not heavily focused on security, and they likely don't build a security operations center. So their need for automation isn't as pronounced. They are more interested with white labeled options and user-friendly interfaces, aiming to highlight their brand and provide customers with access to their interfaces. And when it comes to MSSP, it's a different approach that has just entered to the literature, in my opinion. It's obvious that it will have a great impact on the market, while the whole world is talking about the consolidation trend and taking actions accordingly. So it's almost impossible for this approach to fail, in my opinion, because let's give an example. Vendors are adding new products to their portfolios and trying to provide solutions in every field as a unified approach. MSSPs are consolidating their customers under their roof. And now MSSPs have also become part of this consolidation trend. So MSSPs offer the products they distribute as a managed service to their channel partners that are motivated to become an MSSP, but don't have enough resources, don't have an SOC, let's say. And this type of companies, such as resellers, integrators, or MSPs, can open a new service line that they can sell to their client base with the help of this model. And while online marketplaces are similar to MSSP model, they have some important differentiation points. So the most important point is that they only work with vendors that offer software as a service solutions. And the reason for this is that the distribution channel of the solution is completely automated and can be done through an online portal. So online marketplaces, which are a channel network consisting mostly of MSPs, they bundle the products they sell and offer joint solution to their channel networks, including consultancy services. So we will talk about current trends in the cybersecurity and the role and the shape of MSSPs. So I can give the microphone to John for this.
Be happy to. I mean, there's a lot of slides, and everybody probably knows when you're given a webinar, it makes it somewhat difficult. But this is really to talk about really the core challenges and the solutions that we're going to talk about today. There's a lot of trends: ransomware, AI and machine learning, privacy regulations, cloud, supply chain, evolving threats, ongoing skill gaps. These are all things that are not only trends, but they're distinctly challenges that we're aware of that are facing MSSPs as well, not only the customers. In some cases, too, we're going to emphasize that there is particularly a burgeoning and emergent opportunity for the small to mid-sized business segment. They're typically left out of the game in some respects because of their lower budgets, the lower resources. They're less likely to mature in the security maturity level in that cycle. What really can be brought to bear are multi-tenant approaches, large dependency on automation that is also augmented by analyst support, being able to stay up to date, through cyber threat intelligence, being able to take not only that cyber threat intelligence, but to contextualize it immediately within the environment of the MSSP. This is within their tenants or those clients, and then being able to provide extended services on an ongoing basis. So it's really about being modular, scalable, quickly to deploy, and ideally, the MSSP MSSPs play an increasing role in how the security is being executed on behalf of their customers, but more importantly, are starting to add increasing value. And that's really what we're going to talk about today. There are ways that we have devised, the way we've structured the architecture of the platform, the services we've integrated that really make this very modular, but very scalable, and really help the MSSPs and hopefully those of you on this call to take advantage of a lot of these emerging trends. And that's really what today's webinar is all about.
So thanks for the overall description. So I think we will deep dive into details right now. So so let's start with the challenges. I think we will start with the technical challenges and then we will proceed to the commercial part. So the first challenge, evolving trend landscape. So the microphone is yours, John, and then I will explain how we will help to our MSSPs.
Okay, so what this is about really is, we talked a little bit about emerging trends. One of the big emerging trends is increasing emphasis on wanting to protect a company's brand. This brand is something, it's likely one of the most valuable assets. And that brand includes things like their domain, their websites, their people, their VIPs. And there's an increasing emphasis on wanting to protect those assets. And those assets come by way of things like social network profiles, the website, of course. It comes by way of spoofed websites or similar domains that are seeking to exploit those that are familiar with the brand. So for example, through phishing attacks and pushing in. This also includes, in terms of brand protection, can't be underemphasized, the importance of dark web monitoring, because the dark web has become an emergent force for cyber criminal activity, communication, the brokering of ransomware as a service techniques, the brokering of key corporate assets and information, whether it be user credentials, VIPs, it could be code leaks and so forth. But all of these things are typically utilized to destroy or at least do damage to a corporate brand. And what we've put together is essentially an ability to provide this capability to be able to monitor and protect a brand by looking at that brand and its assets through the eyes of a threat actor. And then importantly, providing a free CTI cyber threat intelligence solution is I love the terminology here, is a gift to our MSSP partners as part of the program.
So the approach should be proactive security, right? So when I look at it from the MSSP's perspective, so when I, let's say, think about it, they must have three main technologies in their ecosystem. SIEM or SOAR, the first thing, detection and response products, and the third one as a supporter, the threat intelligence, to make proactive security enable, let's say, because they need to get some actions, to take some actions before it happens, right? So this is what we are talking about, proactive security. So at this point, MSSPs can support their services to a certain point using open source intelligence, but OSINT management is quite complex and has many false positive findings and causes waste of time, right? So they must implement a CTI solution that provides false positive free and contextualized threat intelligence. So as SOCRadar, we aim to address this challenge by faced by MSSPs by issuing an NFR license of CTI for SOC subscription. So in this way, they don't need to make an additional investment to provide CTI service to their customers, and they can continue to offer SOCRadar solutions in the field of, let's say, attack surface management and digital risk protection while they are providing the CTI as a service. So this is the idea behind this NFR license in summary, guys. Do you have any other comments, John? Otherwise,
yeah, I think the only one I might add, because a big one for me here, when I think about the value of the CTI for SOC license that comes with this program, are things like supply chain intelligence, CVE inspection, malware analysis and detonation. I mean, there's a lot to be said for what can be done with that free CTI for SOC license, including things like free reports, being able to look at industry trends, being able to provide intelligence on which ransomware attacks have occurred within a particular customer's supply chain. So, I mean, the threats of all kinds are growing in severity, complexity, and we've all seen the data. And I think this is a really powerful combination.
So the CTI for SOC is mainly built for the SOC team. So it covers the vulnerability intelligence to get some insights about zero-day vulnerabilities, because there is no patches available, right? They can have an idea about the threat actors, their target industries, their target countries, tactics, techniques, and procedures, and the available IOCs. Also, they can search in our big data with the threat hunting module. They can feed their detection and response product with the threat feed and IOCs. We have threat hunting rules, Yara Sigma rules, so they can use it in EDR solutions or SIEM solutions to detect anomalies. So we have a lot of use cases. I think we will deep dive into the this part on the cross-sell part slide. So I will skip this slide if you are okay with that, guys. So
yeah, this one's good too. I'll just start by saying that if you're not aware of it, everybody on this webinar, we're running right now a free dark web training online, and I encourage you to access. That's what that QR code is about. I want to point that out.
Just scan it.
Yes, and if you haven't visited, another thing that I want to mention too, and we'll talk about this particular support program and these elements. But I want to say, if you haven't visited the SOCRadar labs, it's a virtual R&D portal. I highly recommend it. It's a great illustration of some of the things that we're going to talk about on this slide. It's basically, where all of our new developing platform elements, and informs users about existing and possible cyber threats. It's got a lot to see. It's a lot to utilize. You'll get a good sense for SOCRadar's capabilities. But the key thing here too is it's designed also to support our partners. I mean, we provide an academy. It's an extraordinarily rich library of training materials. You can get Darknet certified. We've got cyber threat intelligence analyst training. These are all about helping to make the skills shortage less of a dynamic that's preventing our MSSP partners from evolving their own internal knowledge. And I think it's a big part of our support mechanisms, and I don't think it gets the attention it deserves, because it's largely provided to our partners at no cost.
Yeah. So we by the way, we have a lot of trainings available on the SOCRadar Academy, both technical and sales trainings. And I would like to mention about the special training for MSSPs. We have a cyber threat intelligence analyst training. It takes around 8 hours, and actually we are training you for the examination of EC Council, because we are also providing exam vouchers to our MSSP partners. So you don't need to invest for it, let's say, to have the certification from related authorities or get your employees trained. Let's say we will do it for you. We are trying to support our MSSP partners in any field. Actually, this is our approach currently as a SOCRadar. And the problem is about the skills shortage and expertise. There's an unfilled gap in the security industry. So it's increasingly, let's say, becoming increasingly difficult to find highly trained employees in the field of cybersecurity all over the world. I think it's for all the world, not for United States or a specific region. At this point, the companies can tend to hire new graduates in order to be cost effective, but in this case they need to train them also, because they don't have any expertise or experience about the industry. So this is why this kind of companies need to invest on the trainings and certifications and fostering the learning culture within the organization.
You know, another thing too, I'll just mention is part of that QR code too. That also includes a free limited time access to our dark web radar product. I think it's another thing that I would encourage you to take
7 days,
advantage
I
of.
think, done. Yeah, it's around 7 days for 1 week trial. As
it's got a dark web search engine. There's a dark web news list. It's really a pretty remarkable VIP protection, fraud protection. It's a good illustration of the dark web monitoring capabilities.
Black market findings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is an important case, balancing automation and human touch.
Yeah, no doubt. I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mete, please. I was just going to add that I think you and I both have the same reaction to this one. We when we were going through it and practicing, going through these slides together, it's, to me, I can't underscore the value of this one, of the SOCRadar Analyst Network. I think pound for pound, most powerful human support of any provider. It's a real commitment by the company to supplement our MSSP program. It's the human intelligence that really enhances and augments the largely automated technologies. These analysts are organized into tactical teams. It's designed for scale. It's really, to me, one of the most valuable aspects because of the skills shortage we talked about earlier, but also the importance of human interaction with regards to crucially reducing false positives. And it's also just not about flagging alerts, but providing a solution. And this one's a tough one to solve. I mean, if you identify a problem, can you also identify the solution, the remediation, the correct actions? And this is a lot about the cleanliness of the solution. It's so that an alert or a finding doesn't trigger too much back and forth from the client to the support desk. By having these humans in the loop, this is a good way to safeguard margins, to be able to increase the time to support, the time to action. And this is about human touch. I just can't underestimate it.
Yes, so I think the MSSPs should automate all the process which is possible, because they have a lot of customers. They are providing hundreds of services to dozens of customers, let's say. Expanding the team, let's say, by hiring new technical employees is not the right approach for the growth method. So they need to automate the process, reduce the manpower, minimize the manpower by utilizing automation and artificial intelligence as much as possible. So the biggest challenge for the automation part is the false positives. So if you have false positive alerts, you cannot automate it because it needs to be checked by a human eye. So this is why we are saying that balancing automation and human touch. As SOCRadar, we are trying to address these two challenges together. The first one is with the APIs. We have APIs for each submodule. So it means you can receive all the data which is available on the interface via our APIs. So you can just run the SOCRadar as an engine at the background. You don't need to log into the platform for it. You can manage it directly via API, because MSSPs also have their in-house tools like SOAR platforms. So they are just trying to automate the process. They are trying to minimize their costs. So this is why they are looking for the integration options. And the second thing, the challenge, the human touch side, we are trying to address it by providing a dedicated analyst support, as you mentioned. So we have dedicated analysts, and they are eliminating the false positives before the MSSP receive it, let's say, as an alert. So let me explain how SOCRadar works. So we collect data from various sources like surface web, dark web, deep web, threat actor forums, social media platforms, and code repositories, and so on. So after we collect this big data, we are analyzing and processing this data with a machine learning algorithms and artificial intelligence. And after all this process done, our human analyst team are checking the false positives, alarms, to eliminate them. So actually, it will provide you near zero false positive. And the MSSP's analyst team will not challenge with them, let's say. So yeah, another technical challenge, becoming target for threat actors. This is my, let's say, first priority for this presentation because it's very important. Do you want to add
no
anything,
doubt.
Jan, or should I continue?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is the great irony, and I think everybody probably knows this, that even businesses that make their living by, from security technology products and services are no way immune. And as a matter of fact, I know if you're following the news, solution providers like CDW, Barracuda, Cisco, they've all been targeted. This is all within the last year. And they're going to be and continue to be a big target because they see the ability to compromise a single system such as remote monitoring and management, or RMM, to acquire access to many tenant customers is opportunistic, it's cost effective, and obviously it's going to be something they're going to do. And so I think the spate of these data breaches, they've impacted the IT channel. And this is a big part of what we can provide. And I think this is something that we're seeing with increasing frequency here in North America. We've done a handful of work deals and work with MSSP partners here in the US who are not just deploying the SOCRadar solution set for their customers, but importantly, they're provisioning it and deploying it for themselves internally. And I think that's something to be said, especially when you consider these are security providers who have assessed our technologies, gone through the POC process, they're deploying it on their own right. So it's something that I think we add as a value because of particularly the free gift, the CTI for SOC, but importantly, because of our ability to run attack surface management, because we can do the digital risk protection, continuous dark net monitoring. These are all things that can be pointed inwards as well. And I think that's an important part of the program.
Yeah, thank you. So actually you covered all of the things. I don't have anything to add. But
you can't be off the hook that easy.
So I'm just thinking from the threat actors' perspective. So why would they try to attack these organizations one by one when there is a third party MSSP with privileged access to their critical systems, right? So it's quite interesting for MSSPs, and as you mentioned, it's about making a big profit at once. From the threat actors' perspective. So this is why we are providing a free SOCRadar license for our MSSPs, because they can also benefit from our attack surface and digital risk protection modules. They can get some early warning alerts before the attack happens. So this is the idea behind it. So yeah, we are now with the commercial challenge. Yeah, increasing demand from SMBs.
Yeah, I mean, I hear this one a lot, and this is something that I've been asking and polling a lot of our partners about. And this is, more SMBs are obviously outsourcing, and that I think is pretty standard and logical. They're getting and are acquiring continuously more awareness about what they need and the resources and budgets necessary, but they've typically haven't been invited to the party at scale just because, they haven't traditionally had the budgets. I think what this really, for me, this slide is about, and when you think about SOCRadar, we're going to talk about specifically what it entails in terms of its modules, but the key is, that's root there is modular. Our ability to deploy cybersecurity solutions that specifically SMBs need and are looking for. They're getting pressure from cyber insurance underwriters. They're becoming more aware and concerned about compliance issues and privacy. And we think that you all, the MSSPs, are particularly well positioned to support SMBs with services and solutions, albeit if they can be deployed in a highly custom modular way. So it's very cost effective and very pointed. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mete, go ahead.
No problem. So in my opinion, in my experience, let's say, mostly they have SMB customers. So there is an increasing demand from SMBs, and most customers are SMBs. So in this case, their customers don't have enough resources, as you mentioned. They don't have a department for security, or they don't have a security operations center. They don't have enough budgets. This is why they are trying to get the security as a service from an MSSP partner. So in this case, the MSSPs should address this with providing an affordable and scalable subscription models. So as you mentioned, we have modular approach, but also we have customizable subscription models, which is ultimate ones. So MSSPs are able to create their own subscription levels using our custom licenses. So they can just add some credits, exclude some features, depending their market needs, and they can offer it to their specific market with some subscription levels. So they can create their own package before we start to work with them, and they can offer it to their clients depending their needs. So I think in my opinion, it will help to address this increasing demand from the SMBs as we are providing a modular and customizable approach.
I'm going to throw in just a little teaser here. I think it's worthwhile because I think it's something that people might remember. I just put this in perspective. This is one example, but it's I think indicative of the modular nature of this and how easy it is to deploy. Put this in perspective. You can provide dark web monitoring solution, a very robust, I believe in having come out of the darknet and working in the darknet space for the last couple of years. I think the most powerful of its kind, and it's available, but you can provide this to an SMB customer for as little as $500 a month. And when you think about deploying those types of solutions that are that high value at that price point, there's a tremendous land and expand possibility.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to change the slide, but I am unable to do it. Sorry, guys. Okay. Return of investment demonstration. This is also important thing because gaining new customers, making the sale is important and easy thing in my opinion, but keeping the customer inside and making them believe that their investment has paid off is much important issue in my opinion. So nobody wants to lose their customers and become churned, right, John? So in this case, let's think a service period of an MSSP. They are supporting many tickets, solving dozens of problems, and at the end of the year, the customer is forgetting everything, right? So they don't remember anything. So in this case, actually, the MSSP should demonstrate the return of investment by providing a report what they did during this service period, let's say. And I know it's a challenging thing to create this kind of detailed reports. It needs manpower and a lot of time. But we automate this process actually as SOCRadar. And we are providing white labeled report options for our MSSP partners. So this is a new announcement actually. So let me show an example about some examples about our reports. So we have 3 use cases for it. The first one is, as we talked before, to show the return of investment. So we will provide these white labeled reports with their logos and brand colors will be free for renewals. So when their customers renewal date is come, we will provide these white labeled reports for one time for that year to convince their customers to renew the license. This is a totally free service for MSSPs. The second use case is for one-time assessment, because we had a lot of requests from various MSSPs and some consultancy firms. They are just asking for one-time assessment for a specific customer because the customer don't want to subscribe any product. They just want to get a report about their attack surface, about their deep and dark web findings for one time. So we solved the gap in the market and the demand, let's say, and we just include this service line to our portfolio as well. So you can think we will run the platform for 1 month or 2 months. for a certain time of period. And then we will generate these reports as a one-time assessment. So MSSPs are able to sell these kind of white labeled reports for their customers, or they can, because it will be very affordable price actually. So they can also use it for some specific, some important customers during the POC period to convince them about the purchase. And the third one is for the onboarded customers. So MSSPs are able to subscribe these white labeled reports weekly basis or monthly basis for the onboarded customers to provide them continuously these detailed reports.
Yeah, I think the one thing too that I'll underpin is that also illustrates that one of the things that SOCRadar does well is all of our provisioning, every time we onboard anybody or we're conducting a freemium or a new or a POC, is our asset discovery feature. We're looking for, we will very quickly be able to assess domains and websites, SSL certificates, login pages, IPs, mobile apps.
Shadow IP, right? It's very important.
That's the one I was just going to say.
Yeah,
that's the one. It's the one that is always the most enlightening and high value. You took it, you nailed it. It's the shadow IT. This is basically the IT related hardware and software that some department or an individual without the knowledge of the IT team has set up. It's synced with the security group with the organization. These things are really enlightening, and I think it underscores the power of these reports. If you use them, they're really good.
Yeah. So the lead generation, I think this is the last challenge for the commercial challenge. And then we will deep dive into cross-sell opportunities and the solutions, what we are offering. So, so let me start with this. Actually, identifying a potential customer is a very difficult process, in my opinion. Knowing who needs which solution or service and when. So will make the things much easier, I think. So as we are a threat intelligence company, actually we have all these details because it's an intelligence, right? So we know who was infected with malware. We know who can be affected by a critical vulnerability, or we know which company's CEO's credentials are circulating on the dark web, let's say. So this information can be very useful for sales teams. And actually, we will go into the details of the lead generation program, but a little bit later. But first, I want to talk about the lead sharing program because it's easy to explain. So as we mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, as Burak mentioned, we have around 14,000 customers, including our freemium customers. So maybe you can ask about what is freemium. So we have a free version. We are trying to democratize the cyber threat intelligence by providing a free version. So everybody can subscribe to it. If they need to have an attack surface, a digital risk, or cyber threat intelligence solution, it's totally free with some limitations, of course. So we have a huge pool of freemium customers, around 14,000 premium customers around the worldwide. So this is a really big pool. And as SOCRadar, we have an approach that prefers to grow in the region with our business partners. So this means actually we will share these leads monthly basis with our MSSPs and some of the resellers, which has gold level or silver level resellers. And there will be an opportunity for them to make upsell SOCRadar or cross-sell with their existing offering. This is a big opportunity because, so as we talk about the lead generation, identifying the potential client, how it's difficult. So we actually know who is interested in to have CTI because they already subscribe to free version. They already subscribe to Dark Web Radar. They already subscribe to another solution of SOCRadar, let's say. So this pool can help them to make cross-sell and also generate leads. So if you don't have any addition, I will deep dive into the details about lead generation program. And also, guys, we have a QR code here again for SOCRadar Labs. So it's available for everyone. We are trying to make it available for everyone, let's say. Everybody can generate a report. They can use the SOC tools, which is available on the SOCRadar Labs. But we are matching the email address provided and the domain for the reports. We are trying to match it, let's say. So if the partner, let's say the MSSP, want to get a report for their prospect customer, it's not possible if they are not an official partner. But after the partnership process, we are whitelisting our MSSPs and resellers email domains on the platform, and they have an option to generate reports for their prospect customers using their email addresses. So in this way, actually, the MSSP can generate a report for their prospect customer. For example, dark web report with credential leakage, hacker forum mentions. If they have a chance, maybe they can see some CEO credential or C-level VIP credentials, and they can try to convince the customer or attract their attentions with the findings, and maybe they can convince to have a POC, bring them to have a POC, let's say. We have a few options like free reports, as I mentioned, dark web monitoring. So our CTI module could be used for generating leads also using the Sterilog module, because we have a filter option to filter by country. So if we are talking about a global company, let's say, they can also filter by company and get the results of that specific company's Stealer logs. And if they have a chance, they can generate leads from it, or they can subscribe to Dark Mirror, which is available on the SOCRadar Labs again. So they can get the latest news about and cyber threats in their region. And we also have an internal team for the lead generation. They are basically looking to botnet markets, hacker forums, and Telegram channels to identify the companies that may have risk or that have been attacked. So everything is all from me.
That's good. I'll keep it moving because I know we don't want to run over on time. I'll let you keep moving.
So cross-sell opportunities. So I think this is an interesting slide for every MSSP because you are familiar with these logos, in my opinion, or services. So first of all, before I start, these are not the integrations we have currently. This is just showing, let's say, the having an idea about the integration opportunities. So I will just try to keep it short, and I will highlight some of the integrations. The most common use case is feeding to detection and response products, the web application firewalls, and IPS, etc. But I will talk about some different use cases. For example, let's start with SIEM/SOAR. So as I mentioned before, we have APIs for almost each submodule. So it means the MSSP can get all the available data, which is available on the interface via our APIs, and it enables them to make every process available for the automation. For example, if an MSSP providing a privilege access management or identity access management products to their customers. So as SOCRadar's research for last year, as I remember, the Stealer logs were the most common attack vector for 2022. So in this case, I'm also remembering the Uber case. So there was a credential selling for $10 on the black market, So it's very easy to buy those kind of credentials and gain access to the critical systems of big companies. So this is a quite important thing. And maybe MSSPs or customers also can automate this process to prevent this kind of potential attacks. For example, if we see a credential leakage as a SOCRadar on the deep and dark web, we are alerting the customer as an employee account leak or VIP account leakage alarm. And we have a new feature like defining password policy on the which we are using on the Active Directory, let's say. So if we see a match with the existing password policy, we are alerting the customer at the critical level. So MSSP can automate this process by when they receive the critical level account leakage alarm. So they can automate the password reset action, or they can enforce the user to change his password. Or if it's a privilege access management, they can also restrict the privileges of the related user. This is a really good use case in my opinion. And also I have a lot of let's say meetings with the vendors, because I'm also leading Tech Alliance part with the privilege access management products. So they are also interested in to have our third-party risk assessment module into their platforms as well. Because when it comes to privilege access, I can imagine that you are providing privilege access to third parties, right? Like, for example, MSSPs, they have privilege access to their customers' critical infrastructure. So the customer should decide before they provide the access to the related company, let's say third party, they can do some assessment using our product, using our supply chain intelligence module. So they can get some scores and they can decide which privilege they need to give, or should they provide access. So let's jump to another part, SIEM/SOAR. So an analyst can directly query to our database from their SIEM or SOAR solution without logging into the system. They can feed their solutions with thread feed and IOCs, with incident APIs, and with Yara Sigma rules. So we have around 20,000 rules available on the platform. So they can also detect anomalies using these Sigma rules. If the MSSP is providing, let's say, mail security gateways, for example, like Mimecast. So of course, I know that these vendors has their own phishing domain feeds. I'm sure about that. But as we are discovering the type of squatted domains similar to customer domain name, and also as we have an OCR technology to detect the logo of customer, so it will be a targeted phishing domain feed for this kind of security products, like for example for Mimecast. So we can just feed the targeted phishing domain, similar phishing domain feeds and the MSSP can prevent the potential attack before their customers affected. From, let's say, another perspective, cloud security. So it's also a trending case for the cybersecurity landscape. So it's a simple integration, but as we have a cloud monitoring feature, so we are first discovering your cloud buckets, and we are continuously monitoring it about their status. And if there's a misconfiguration, let's say, maybe it should be configured as private, but the engineer of your company organization is just configured as a public, and every document is publicly available. It's a horrible scenario, right? So we are also detecting this kind of things. If it's available publicly, we are just alerting you. So we can also feed those kind of cloud security products with this kind of information. You can provide hardening services using all the information we have. You can provide incident response using our APIs. Also, you can offer phishing takedown services using our service actually, because by the way, let me mention it also. We know that some of our competitors are outsourcing the takedown service. So I can confidently say that we have an in-house team and we have a good reputation on the related authorities like ISPs, like GoDaddy. So they know who is SOCRadar and they are responding us very quickly. So I can confidently say that we are very good at the takedown service. We have an internal team and we are providing a bulk amount of takedown credits for the MSSPs. So it depends on the MSSP, which customer will get how many credits. And also we are providing it in affordable prices. So maybe there are some questions about it. Burak, did you receive any questions? Because this I am getting a lot of questions when I am showing this slide to our MSSP partners.
Yeah, actually, we were keeping the Q&A session until the end, but if you guys have any questions, please
Okay,
type
so
it down to the Q&A session.
Come back to
over
this
here.
slide if there
Yeah.
is any, yeah.
No problem.
So let me explain our solution, what we are offering, what is the approach behind it. So we call it XTI, Extended Threat Intelligence. And we are combining 3 different products which you can find on the market separately. Attack surface management, digital risk protection, and cyber threat intelligence. And everything starts with the attack surface management module, because our approach is a little different from the competitors. Most of the competitors are asking for list of IPs, subdomains, like Excel sheets of their digital assets. But the idea behind this, actually, we are looking from the hacker's perspective, from the threat actor's perspective. So we don't know anything about your company. Let's imagine that I am a threat actor and I'm planning an attack to your organization. So I don't know anything about you, right, John? So I just know your website. I just have an information which is available on the internet. So I need to perform some reconnaissance page, like a penetration testing, right? To find some gaps, some vulnerabilities, some open ports, to collect some information about the organization. So actually, this is the same approach. So we are just asking for main domain as an input from the customer side. That's all. We are not asking for anything. And then we are creating the digital footprint of the customer with using that main domain as the only input. And of course, if they have some alternative brands, alternative main domains, we need them also. But at the beginning, let's say we just need the main domain. After we create the digital footprint, including the shadow IT, so we are monitoring that those assets continuously and performing some checks like vulnerability scans, active and passive scans, some continuous pen test checks like CISA check, ransomware check, and also monitoring the cloud buckets. So after all this process under the attack surface management module, we will know what to protect on the deep and dark web, what to monitor on the deep and dark web. So basically, everything we discovered on the attack surface management module becomes keyword for the second module, for the digital risk protection. So when we discover a public IP of your organization, it means we will automatically monitor it on the deep and dark web. When we discover any subdomain belongs to your organization, we will monitor it automatically on the deep and dark web. So you don't need to configure anything when you try to onboard a customer as an MSSP. This is an important thing. So you will just provide the main domain as an input. We will discover, our platform will discover all of their assets and starts monitoring them immediately on the deep and dark web also, on the surface web. So we have a few let's say sub-modules under the digital risk protection, like deep and dark web monitoring, to detect the credential leakage, the PII exposure, these kind of things. And also we are offering obtaining the credentials from the related black markets. It's also important service, because I know that it's challenging to deal with threat actors. They are mostly asking for Bitcoin transactions, and also there are some regulatory problems for some specific countries. So you are not able to make these transactions as an organization, let's say. So we are doing it for you, and we don't put any margin for it. So if the threat actor is selling the credential for $10, we are just asking for that $10. So you can think it's like a free service for you, and you don't need to deal with the threat actors and the Bitcoin transactions, these kind of things. The second module is brand protection. Basically, we are discovering the impersonating domains, the social media accounts, fake mobile applications, which is available on the APK stores, and also the code repositories, because it's also important, the code repos. Maybe it could be your former developer and he forget the code pieces with some login credentials, SQL connection strings, etc. We have VIP protection section under the DRP. Basically, we are identifying your VIPs automatically with the help of our analyst team. You don't need to provide them as an input. Even your VIPs, we are discovering them with the help of our analysts, and even their personal email addresses, and we are monitoring them continuously. Also, we have the fraud protection section to monitor the credit card leakage with the help of BIN numbers and CVIF codes. And we have DRP configuration section to add some additional keywords manually, because yes, it's full automated, but you have always you always have the option to add some manual assets, some manual keywords. And when it comes to cyber threat intelligence, as you understand, guys, as you know, as an MSSP, you need to be expert of this. These two modules were directly related with an organization. I mean, the attack surface management and digital risk protection. But when it comes to cyber threat intelligence, as you know, guys, it's more generic. So you can think it's like a Google of dark web, Google of SOCRadar. You can search anything on the in the big data of SOCRadar. You can get the information about newly published vulnerabilities, about the available POCs, exploits. You can get some insights about the threat actors, their targets, their sources, their TTPs, their related CVEs, etc., etc. So it's basically built for SOC teams. So what I'm trying to achieve right now, actually, to explain our special offering for MSSPs better, because so this is a unified approach. We also have modular approach, some different subscription models like dark web radar, etc. But this is a special subscription option for MSSPs while covering all the platform, let's say, all the solution. We call it advanced brand protection. Basically, we just exclude the cyber threat intelligence module from the XTI concept, because when it comes to, let's say, MSSP perspective of view, mostly you have SMB customers. So in this case, they don't have enough resources, as we talked before. They don't have an SOC, etc. So they will not perform some complex security things like threat hunting, investigation, right? So they are not able to do it. So in this way, in this case, they don't need to pay for it. They don't, because they will not use the cyber threat intelligence. Maybe they can want to get access to see about their assets, about their digital risk, about their brand risk, let's say. But from the cyber threat intelligence perspective, I think they will not perform anything. So the idea is we are offering a package of combination of, let's say, attack surface management and digital risk protection modules as an MSSP package. So MSSP can allocate these licenses to their customer base with a multi-tenancy architecture, and they can benefit from the MSSP program. They can benefit from the APIs, from the technology, while we are providing the CTI for SOC as a free of charge, as a gift. So MSSP actually we call it NFR license, not for sale, but actually our MSSP partners can use it to make money from it. They can provide the CTI as a service. So they can just use it in their SOC. They can provide the CTI as a service, and they can provide their customers attack surface and digital risk automatically with the provided MSSP package. So this is the idea behind it. John, do you want anything to add for this part?
No, I think you said it really well. I mean, the only thing I might add is if you think about this, I want to emphasize for our MSSP partners, this is a really sticky solution. It's one of the reasons that we're growing so quickly. It's why the freemium usage is so valuable, but they're also high conversion. The key thing here, think of it as it's an early warning system. It's one of those things you can't afford not to have once you've turned it on. It's looking for all the threats. It's got integrated analyst support. They can take down phishing sites. They can do data acquisition if things are found on the dark web. And it just adds a lot of power to your existing offering. It's all natively integrated. It can be provided as multi-tenant. It can be provided via API. There's a lot of different ways you can modularize this to deliver the services. It's really the flagship in what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, thank you for the addition. So let's proceed with the MSSP program. We have 3 slides, and then we can proceed with the questions, Burak. So let me cover the financial and business benefits. As a channel marketing manager, maybe you can cover the marketing benefits, if it's okay with you, Burak?
Yeah, sure thing.
Okay, so basically we are providing rebate program for our MSSPs, joint business review, lead generation program, as we talked before, with the attractive reports using the SOCRadar labs, including stereo log module, and also having access to our lead generation team. And we have a lead sharing program. So the count of the prospects, let's say, depends on the partnership level of the MSSP. We are sharing premium prospects monthly basis with visionaries, let's say 3 premium prospects. For the stellar partners, 5 premium, and for the elite, the elite is the custom partnership for MSSPs. So we are just discussing about the opportunities and deciding which could be the better MSSP program for both sides, let's say. So yeah, you can continue with the market benefits, Burak.
Sure, of course. So from the marketing point of view, first thing I would like to emphasize that we use a PRM solution, and from there you can just register your deals as an MSSP partner and use that platform to access all our marketing documents. And the platform also allows you to automatically co-brand, which means that you can just put your logo in the specific document and our specific standards, and you just can put your logo over there and use it as a marketing material in your campaigns. And one of the other parts that makes us a bit more different than other companies that we offer for all our MSSP partners a dedicated specialist from the marketing side, and we try to support as much as we can from the marketing standpoint point of view. We do a lot of events, virtual, also on-site events, depending on your MSSP level. We provide that support as well, and also financial aid as well for MDF program. It's growing, and our MSSP program is growing as well, and that's how we also extend our MDF program as well. That's pretty much it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Burak. So let me continue with the enablement, training, and technical benefits. So we are providing a demo environment. It's a simple thing. We are providing a multi-tenancy architecture for our MSSPs, and we are enabling them to manage the roles and permissions of their customers, users, and also their teams. We are providing a platform support depending their partnership level. We have a dedicated analyst support, as we mentioned, but it's available for the visionaries, for the explorers. We are not offering it because it's cost for us, to be honest. And we are providing new release trainings, quarterly basis, monthly basis, depending on the partnership level again. We are providing integration support. So actually all the APIs are available for MSSPs, but for the support, we are providing also the integration support for, let's say, the simple integrations like IOC, like incident, some API integrations. But when it comes to the, let's say, build an application for a specific vendor's marketplace, it's a challenging thing to get some approves about it, etc. Developing the application. But if we are talking about APIs, it's very easy process. We have SOCRadar Academy, as we mentioned before. So MSSPs have access to our academy portal. We are providing an on-demand training. It's also important when they need any training. So we will provide it to our MSSPs. We have an MSSP success manager, which is also important. And we are providing a partner solution architect. It's actually add-on service, but it's available for elite level MSSPs. So basically, we are helping to build this kind of cross-sell bundled services to our MSSPs with their existing technology stack. Yeah, we are providing NFR licenses, both XDI license for to monitor their own organization, and the CTI for SOC license for their SOC teams to provide the CTI as a service. And we have some platform incentives like takedown credits, black market credits, and so on. And also we are providing vouchers from EC Council, I mean the exam vouchers. And these are the requirements to become an MSSP partner. So basically, we are expecting to have a platform accreditation, sales accreditation, and some certifications about the cyber threat intelligence or SOC analysts. So it's a requirement, but let's say, to be honest, we will not ask it at the beginning. We will just provide all the resources you need if you don't have that certifications. We will provide trainings. We will provide the exam vouchers, so you don't need to invest for it. And then we will expect from you to complete it in the near future, let's say. Yeah, so this is all from us. So we can jump to the questionnaire parts. Burak?
Of course, if you guys have any questions, please use the Q&A session. Just type it down and I'll read it out loud. If you don't have any, I'll just we received some questions from our audience prior to this event, so I'll just ask these questions to our speakers, John and Ahmet in this case. I'll just give you guys a minute to write it down.
Okay.
If you have any questions, if not, I'll just start with my own. All right, I think, yeah. I'll just start from the first one that we have. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please use the sections, chat or Q&A. So the first question I have is that in what ways does SOCRadar assist MSSPs in educating their clients about the importance of threat intelligence, which eventually facilitates more effective upselling and cross-selling of these services? I know that we already covered some of the aspects of the question, but it will be worthwhile to emphasize that one more time, I believe.
Do you want to answer this, John?
Yeah, I mean, I think we could tag team it. I'd say one of the things that you talked about I find really powerful is the white label reports, being able to utilize those. It's a really good way to illuminate the trail of risks and those that are particularly threatening. I think another way too is there was, when you think about dark web monitoring, Mete had mentioned the particularly dangerous and insidious nature of stealer logs. SOCRadar has the deepest repository, constantly collecting, continuous collection of stealer logs and browser session cookies and so forth, which we found have been a really fairly severe attack vector. I think being able to illuminate those things is consistently something that helps us to educate our clients. And then lastly, I would say the key thing here is the modularity of the platform, being able to provide an ability to cross-sell or upsell. It's easy to start, it's easy to integrate, it's easy to add to, and it's easy to kind of mature into a much more robust framework. Key thing about being natively integrated is that it's all so modular. So I think those are three key ways where we can effectively cross-sell and upsell the services.
Great answer. Thank you, John. We received one question actually from Austin. I can answer that. He asked if our trainings, our certifications are for free. If you're asking about the for partner trainings, I mean, when you become a partner, they're of course for free, and also our SOCRadar Academy, all those trainings and certification programs are also free of charge. Okay, move on to the next question.
For
that we have.
the exam watchers, let's say they need to become an MSSP. By the way, we have a friend together with us. He's not comfortable because I forget to feed him.
That's really nice. We got a friend over here. All right, moving on to the next question that I have. I received from one of our MSSP partners that our MSSP is already using a threat intelligence tool. We're particularly interested in more robust dark web monitoring capabilities to better protect our clients. Could you give us some more details about how SOCRadar dark web monitoring tools perform and what are the differentiations? Is there any specific solution focusing only on dark web monitoring in this case?
Yeah, so we just launched a new subscription for dark web monitoring. We call it Dark Web Radar, and it's mainly focused on for dark web and deep web monitoring, let's say. And just also take some features from the CTI module to make them enable about to have a complete visibility, let's say, like a threat hunting module, so they can also search on our database. But basically, we will monitor their specific brand keywords on the deep and dark web, and we will alert them also, and we will provide the credential takedown on the black market and Russian market or Genesis market.
That's great. Thank you. I just dropped down a link to get a free trial of our Dark Web Radar solution. If you guys are interested, please check that out and fill out the form to access that free trial. Okay, next up we have how customizable is SOCRadar Threat Intelligence Platform for MSSPs serving diverse industries with varying security requirements? And does it scale efficiently for the clients in different sizes? This is a two-part question, so you guys can tag team it if you guys want it.
Yeah, so we have different type of solutions, as we have a modular approach, so they can decide to solution about the needs of their customers. And also we have subscription levels, so they can choose the right package for their customers. It's not a problem actually. And as I mentioned before, we have also customizable subscription options. It will be available in the near future. So they will be able to generate their own subscription models based on their market needs.
Thank you. Anything to add?
Yeah, I think too. Yeah, I think one thing, there's a question there about diverse industries and scale efficiency. I think scale efficiency, it's important to note that all of our pricing is predicated on asset-based. It's essentially, think of it as a footprint. It's the amount of information or amount of digital assets that we're monitoring or looking to protect. So that's largely how it scales. It can start as few to very large. And I think the platform scales from the small business to the full enterprise. The other things too, that it scales in ways, for example, you can buy different plans for the number of supply chains that you want to monitor. You can dial in your plan for the amount of threat hunting credits. You can dial things in for how many takedowns do you like phishing sites. So everything is really built and predicated around both asset size and customer usage. And that's one of the nice things about this package, is it allows our partners to dial those packages in on a case-by-case basis.
Got it. Thank you, John. Last question that we have here is that how does SOCRadar help MSSPs measure and demonstrate the return on investment of upselling or cross-selling SOCRadar services to their end customers?
So we already answered these questions when we think about all the challenges we covered. So we are providing, let's say we are sharing leads. We are providing a lead generation program. We are providing renewal reports, fully white labeled with their logos and color brands. Also, another use cases we have for the white labeled reports. So when we are providing NFR licenses, so they don't need to invest for it and make money from it. So when you combine all of these benefits, so it's actually answered this question.
All right. Thank you very much. I think that's it. We can wrap it up, guys. Thank you
Yeah.
all for joining our session. And we'll be meeting in other sessions for MSSPs and for our partner program in the future days. Thank you very much and have a lovely day.
There's a message from Francisco. I
Oh,
think
yeah, I just saw it right now.
it's Spanish.
Oh, yeah, it's in Spanish.
We can have another session in Spanish,
Yeah.
Francisco. No worries. We have people who is talking in Spanish. No worries.
Yeah, unfortunately, right now we don't have any probably Spanish speaker right now, but we'll have one session for it, especially in the future.
Yeah, we
probably.
do. We've got one of our key leaders here in North America is native Spanish speaker, and he could certainly provide those types of support if necessary.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much, John. Thank you. All right. Thanks, everyone, and see you next month.
Thank you guys for everything.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you and gracias.
Gracias.